You want an investment edge, but all you hear is noise, hype, and half-truths. Every signal is solid information, but only if you can see the bigger picture. This is where the Quasar magic happens. Weather, charts, news, all financial signals, funneled into a single dashboard. Data alone isn't enough. Quasar Markets turns it into energy, sharp, clear, precise. Optimize with Quasar Markets today. Your edge when investing.
Good morning, Quasar Markets Live. Hope everyone is having a great day. BigBeat, how's your day starting off, my man?
Good and quiet. I think everybody's waiting for today, right, or tomorrow, and so here we are, another day. I'm not banging the table just yet, but I'm getting pretty dang close.
Well, I guess let's get into that part of it because I want to focus most of our day, quite honestly, on earnings because there's a slew of them and there's goods, there's bad, and I think they're important. But here you go. We got our Fed decision tomorrow, 25 basis point cut expected, mega cap tech earnings ahead. President seems to be making deals with Japan, Malaysia, Taiwan. I'm forgetting a couple of others. So why are you banging the table today, Steve?
I think it's very interesting. I always remember 3 times when I decided that this is the world that I was going to get into: fintech, finance, politics, sports. I just wanted to be in this world so bad. I watched it again, 1929. I was watching Andrew Sorkin talking about it on CNBC again. Why are we talking about it today? Well, today is October 28th. Tomorrow is 29th. That is the anniversary of the biggest crash in history in the markets. Why we can't do that again is obvious. We have things in place that keep us from doing that. But when I look at the markets in general, the euphoria, the excitement, and here we go again, things just aren't adding up. And I know people are going to say, oh, but earnings, we lowered the bar. People are going to say, oh, but it's different this time. Okay, it's always different this time. I remember sitting in my parents' having dinner and looking at each other going, what are we going to do now? The markets have just fallen apart. That was the late 80s, obviously 87. And, I thought that, okay, I'm going to change the world. I'm going to do some things different, right? And going through life, I saw that happen again. Obviously, with the 90s, the .com, obviously 2000, COVID. I mean, they all had different reasons, but the same thing always happened every single time. It was euphoria, euphoria, euphoria. The world is going to be awesome in the future, and kaboom, it just crashes. But out of that, I always call it the Phoenix. Out of those crashes, good things happen, and we haven't had that crash yet. So when I say crash this time, I'm not sure what it means. Does that mean like the world's going to end? No. But does it mean that there's going to be a nice, healthy pullback? Yes. But it's going to feel like a crash, and then people are going to be like, oh, but why didn't you tell me? And I'll be like, I have for months. Look, I get it. We can all go back to John Maynard Keynes and say, look, the market can be irrational longer than my account can stay rational and my account liquid. I understand all those adages, that even the adages that changed off the adages and the world that changed off what did he really say and how did he say it? I'm not banging the table yet, but folks, this is asinine. The market's going up every single day is just not normal, and the chase now is totally on. And I'm sitting at the door going, thank you very much. And as you know, I have been slowly but surely reconfiguring my portfolios, selling as we go along, and moving. I have powder ready to go in case when this happens. So be prepared. But here we go. All right, I'll get off my soapbox. Howard, let's get to the earnings.
Okay, well, before we getting into earnings though, the one thing there's only one thing that I argue with you about what you said is this lowered bar. While that might be the case in your mind, it's 9.2% year over year earnings growth. That is not a lowered bar. Yep. What number would make you happy?
It's interesting. We were just talking yesterday, and to answer that question, the UPS Obviously, it was one of those, right? I went to return some shoes yesterday from Amazon, and I went to the UPS store, and it was just bangers in there, as the UPS truck was literally backed up taking returns. So there's some little things that are changing, but the two things that I have to look at when I look at the
I
economy.
will tell you though, those returns aren't like people are saying, I don't want it. Unfortunately, the way that these things are set up, my wife gets 3 pairs of shoes, picks
No,
one
I know that, right? So, yeah, my wife's the same way.
and does
And
it.
I'm the
That
same
to
way.
me,
I've learned it the same way, right? I'm
yeah.
looking at what I want, and it's just easier to go in the store, right? I get that, but at the same time, I look over and I look at oil prices. You know, WTI now sitting at $60 a barrel again. Though, if UPS is running around the world so heavy, gas, right? They use gasoline. Some of them, I guess, switching over. Amazon switching over to electric in some of their trucks, and natural gas and hydrogen, which is exciting to me. But is the economy really matching what we're saying out there? Is it really matching the earnings numbers? And I really want to dig into the earnings. I really want to see what's going on. I will say, and I've been saying this for a while, that the tariffs have been a bigger factor than we think, because people front run the tariffs. They were buying products before those tariffs hit. And here we go, right? And we're catching up to that right now. That's
Steve,
right.
we do have to break in here. Microsoft booming up here right now on news of a partnership with OpenAI, up 3.88% here in the last 10 minutes here. Nice jump by Microsoft. Just wanted to break in with that because that news is starting to hit everywhere.
They're doing the right thing. Microsoft, Apple, these companies are doing the right thing. They're not building their own damn AI because they can't do it right now. It's faster to partner with OpenAI because they know they've already done it. They've got the machines. I like this, right? You just saw Amazon talk about it yesterday. That 75% of their warehouse is gone. The people working there gone. Microsoft is saying middle management gone. We're going to partner.
And since then, I don't know if you saw, Amazon actually announced their layoffs, 1,400, 14,000, 14,000 people, you know, are going to be laid off there. So they did make that announcement. It's also thought to be coming up from Microsoft, and I heard one other major there. But those, you know, that's not unexpected. These are AI gains.
We've been talking about it.
This is part of that evolution that shows that AI is working a little bit. And speaking of companies, AI, blockchain, intersection of crypto, everything we've been talking about.
PayPal.
How about PayPal, man? Up 8.88% here. And you know, you've asked for the numbers, all that type of stuff. What the takeaway is they're going to be able to sign right in and connect ChatGPT Enterprise internally to their 24,000 employees to boost their AI development.
And it might be good for those shoes that I just bought. Instead of buying 25 pairs of shoes, I'm going to do ChatGPT or whatever AI. I'm going to ask the machine, what's a better machine? What's a better fit for me? What's a better shoe for me? All of a sudden, I'm not ordering 25 shoes. I'm ordering 2 pairs of shoes and trying to figure out which pair I like. And ChatGPT is going to do that. And PayPal is going to be and PayPal can use crypto. So the world is going this direction. If people aren't catching up to that, then they're going to be in trouble. And that's what's happening in this new economy that we're living in.
Yeah, and you know, it was a monster quarter. They came in at $1.34 EPS versus that. We don't even talk expectations. I'm with you. Expectations might not have been there, but they're raising full year guidance again, and the year-over-year growth is again supportive of their current price and valuation. Well, it was before it took off 8% here, so I don't want to say that. Story everyone's talking about. PayPal is officially partnered with OpenAI to power ChatGPT checkout. Users will be able to buy things directly through ChatGPT using their PayPal wallet. As Steve mentioned, you can use crypto, stable coins, cash, lira, whatever you want to do that. So instead of asking ChatGPT to recommend a pair of shoes, then opening a browser, ChatGPT will literally say, cool, I can buy those for you. That's agentic commerce, baby, right?
And the companies that are building agentic AI should just stop because they're wasting money. There's I say this all the time, if you want to build workflows, great. But agentic AI is already built into OpenAI. If your company is building AI, agentic AI, you're wrong. You're doing it wrong because the machine already does it for you. It's already understanding you. It's already correcting for itself. You don't need to build agentic AI. The machine is doing it for you. And now it's probably just going to buy you new shoes. It's probably going to see your shoes and go, you know what? You probably need a new pair of shoes. Alexa already does that. Hey, you know what? It already reminds me when I need stuff, right? So agentic AI is already being built into the framework of how we live. The workflow is already built in. People don't understand that. That's why Facebook is already, and Amazon and Microsoft and all these companies are buying nuclear energy, and they're buying these data warehouses because this is where it's going. OpenAI understands that quantum computing is going to be needed even faster. I don't think quantum computing is even ready for what's happening out there. That's what I'm saying.
Well, before I give you the comments on that, everybody, thank you for joining us this morning. Do me a favor, hit the like button, the follow button, throw a comment, tell us where you're from. All those things help us with the algorithm Steve talks about and gets us out to more viewers. So we really appreciate everyone out there. What I will point out, Steve, is PayPal very much, as you know, a crypto-centric company.
Very much so.
Alex Chris, their CEO, said the next evolution of online shopping, connecting merchants to AI-based consumers with, and this is the takeaway for those that aren't in blockchain, didn't see probably, with real identity verification and trust. That's talking about using blockchain technology to be the rails that this all operates on, where you'll just have your wallet and you'll be, you're not Stephen Orr, you're XO379621348. A wallet.
Some people think I already am XO379.
Yeah. So, but really good, amazing to see it. They announced their first ever dividend, Steve. So fintech is going. So this is huge, and I'd like you to discuss this a little bit if you could. This is a company going from growth to dividend, right? Isn't that a big change in the evolution of a company? I'm going to give you the floor for this.
I think when you look at the evolution of fintech and you look at how we spend money, obviously it's how we spend the money through the machines that we use, meaning the credit cards or Apple Pay or Samsung Pay or whatever pay that you use. That's huge. And we want to be able to take whatever currency that we use, whatever money we use, whether that's fiat, and be able to go anywhere we want in the world. And if I want to buy chopsticks in Japan, and I want to buy, I want to buy a painting from the Louvre or steal it, I guess. They need money. I guess I have to go pay my. I guess we're gonna have to raise my my 3-day pass to Louvre. That's how it's gonna happen, right? We're not even gonna have credit cards. When we looked at in the past, people screamed they were unhappy about having to write checks. People hated writing checks, and credit cards. Oh no, credit cards. Credit cards were the worst thing on the planet. It started out with diner cards, and then it became how we do it today. I remember going to Busch Stadium to St. Louis to see a Cardinals game, and the lady looked at me like I was from another planet when I used my phone to buy Apple Pay. Coke and hot dog.
Yeah, I remember as a bartender getting pissed when people used to ask because we didn't have it. It's sign of the whale back in the day, Steve. And B, if we did, I didn't know how to use it. But PayPal definitely. What I want to take away too, they're taking in 5 to 6% more profit per transaction than a year ago.
Because it's easier, it's faster, it's quicker, and here's the thing. Less people are being involved in the transaction. So
and exactly and the other part of that is, again, as regulations have allowed for their use of cryptocurrencies and stable coins and all these other things, it makes it a lot less expensive to do business.
And as you said, PayPal just had a commercial on CNBC with a so there it is. Yeah, there it is. Pete Thomas.
Love it, Peter. Love it. Peter, are we going to get back to 4,000 or we're going to have to start to have a competition, you and I was telling my folks in the crypto side, Ethereum and gold trading at about the same price. Maybe we start to wager which one hits, 4,500 first. Hope you're having a good day, sir. UPS, my friend, they hit one. They delivered a great earnings in every sense. Q3 EPS came in at $1.74 versus $1.29. Revenue $21.42 billion, and the company even gave Q4 guidance of $24 billion above consensus. That's the widest earnings beat they've posted in 4 years.
Yeah, it's very simple. They're front running it, right? So people were front running all the tariffs. They were worried about, in this case, and of course in Florida here, I think some of the people were actually preparing for hurricanes. We didn't see one. God bless Jamaica, going through the worst hurricane in history in Jamaica right now. As a Floridian, I understand that situation. Look, yes, will UPS do that? There might be a good holiday season. I'm not sure yet.
Wait. Yesterday.
Wait. Let me finish.
You're on my team now? Was that easy?
Nope, I'm not. I'm saying that the economy is still pretty bad, right? But the K economy is in full swing, where even the wealthy are still spending heavy. They are spending more than
right, which was my thesis, right? Yeah. That is my Costco thesis and some others.
I was at GameStop last night actually, and it wasn't busy at all. Now I get it. It was a Monday night. And I like going on nights that are not busy and do my thing. Or Royal Caribbean down over 9%.
We're going to get to them for sure here. Hey, Kim, good to see you this morning. And Peter, yeah, I mean, it is definitely right to your number that you called out there. And Steve, as you said, you nailed it, because their international shipments rose 6%, like you said, which is trying to get in front of, around the tariffs, whatever you want to call it. But the stock's up about 9%. Pre-market set for its best post-earnings pop since early 2022. Steve, you follow the transports forever. Is this a one-off pricing win, or do we finally see demand normalize into the holiday season?
Normalize into the season. Now, remember one thing: if you follow Dow theory,
I do.
Transportation is the number one thing. Now, if you believe that, and we know, and you think that transportation is going to come back, like I do, to the downside, then Dow theory should come right into play, and the market should come right back. So here we are. Will it play out the way that I think? I think so. I think we're going to see a pullback. Now, do I think that crypto is going to hold? Do I think that the risk on, shall we say, economy will still play? Probably, yeah, until it doesn't. But no, UPS did well. It should pretend the same thing for FedEx, FTX. But no, I think people literally front run the tariffs. I think that's why you saw UPS up. And we've said this, that people were going to front run it. So they did. And now for me, I don't know.
They're raising guidance, so they're not agreeing with you. So we'll see who's right at the end. I mean, that's the bottom line is we'll have earnings in a few months to figure out which way it went there. Do want to point out, tick pretty flat here this morning. Advanced decline fairly flat again, only up 500. But the Qs have popped up even a little bit more, 33 basis points to the upside. SPY up 25 basis points. VIX is still below 16. I think it's a value under 16. Remember, you buy it when you don't need it as protection. It's an insurance policy. It is not a position.
RCL here is probably getting tight. I'm liking this here. The CEO of RCL is now on CNBC, actually talking to Jim Cramer.
We can skip ahead to that, Steve. I know that you are Mr. Cruz himself, although I did meet someone that cruises even more than you that was sitting next to me at a bar the other night. They have 11 cruises planned for next year already.
That's average.
It's one a month. These people are still working. I'm like, how the hell? But as you know, there's these 3 days, and
exactly.
These little ones.
It's a number of days.
They're not doing 10-day cruises with all of them. But
and I haven't paid for a cruise in a long time.
And Steve, this is where the earnings wave meets the weather wall, unfortunately. Royal Caribbean beats Q3, but guides lower on weather and Haiti's closure. Their third quarter was solid. EPS at $5.75 came in above estimate, but Q4 guidance did come in light here with them. They cited weather disruptions and ongoing closure of their, I can't say that city in Haiti. Shares are down 7 to 8%. Yeah, you nailed it. Ding, ding, ding. Steve, cruise demand's been white hot for 2 years. Are we finally seeing the peak there?
No. When you look at the cruise ships, they're all doing one thing. They're all buying islands, and they're all redoing their own islands, and it's going to be a lot cheaper. When you can go to your own island and go to your own playground, and you have a cruise ship to go, like Disney goes to its own island, that's crazy, right?
And I've heard isn't everybody up in arms because now when you go to them, they also your drink packages don't necessarily translate on some of the lines. I think it was
they do in Royal Caribbean. I know that for a fact.
Norwegian actually, I think, is the one I saw just announced they're not going to have that anymore, and there's talk others will follow because, like you said, those islands become a revenue stream for them, right?
Well, I think that's a dumb move for Royal Caribbean.
Well, listen, I don't cruise, so I don't know, but you know what it is, as you said, though, as opposed to dropping people off in Key West to keep the economy going in Key West, they drop them off at their own island to keep their own economy going. It's not a bad move if you look at it that way.
Royal Caribbean is building its own beach club in Nassau, which I'm excited about. Yeah, so OpenAI now is finalizing the recap plan, and Microsoft now holds a 27% stake in OpenAI. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's exactly what they should have done. And Apple made a mistake by not doing that. Right now, the Siri is not going to catch up.
Up 3.74% on that news. Has hurt Google a little bit. I was trying to see who it hurt. Google a little bit, Apple a little bit are hurt on those, like you said. And yeah, that's exactly what you have been calling for. Steve, getting back a little bit to tech and semis. Let me get myself rescheduled in here. There we go. This morning, Skyworks Solutions and Qorvo announced a $22 billion cash and stock merger. Skyworks CEO Phil Brace will helm the new company. Qorvo's Bob Brugingworth joins the board. The stock popped almost 10% pre-market. We did see SWKS dip slightly, but the combined company becomes an RF and analog juggernaut with huge Apple and Android exposure. Deal scream scale, Steve. Cost synergies, pricing power, and likely a bigger seat at the AI of the edge hardware story. You've seen a lot of chip consolidation over this year. Is this one about survival or expansion?
Expansion. I'll leave it at that.
And do you think this combo puts pressure on Broadcom and Qualcomm in that RF front-end space? That's where they play, right?
Qualcomm's doing okay right now. I mean, they are really doing something really good. Now, for those of you who know SWKS, I'm a big fan of Skyworks. I always have been, and I think that they are a good company, quality company. They've done really good stuff. They've made some mistakes in the past. That's just part of being a business. But Skyworks could be the overlooked tech company here that could possibly be the next big takeover. I know there's a merger here. It could be protection. It is growth. It could be that poison pill that they're having to do so they don't get bought out. But Skyworks and Qorvo coming together, now another company comes in and buys them. Wow, that could be really big.
Well, that leads to my next question. You didn't even know it was coming. So do we chase Skyworks on this dip or wait for the next tariff headline to buy the dip then?
Nah, I like Skyworks here. I'm not telling people to buy or sell, but I like Skyworks. I always have.
Okay. Yeah. So you like it holding up a little bit better. We are 4 minutes from the open. Let's get some charts up here for everyone to see.
Good morning, Ron. Good morning, Pete. Good morning, Kim.
So again, if we look at the Mag 7, NVIDIA 191.49 now, a $4.65 trillion company. Looks like it could hit all-time highs today on its run. I know Mr. Charlie Moon is watching that for a runner. Apple pulling back a little bit as it would be a loser to Microsoft's win with OpenAI, right? Microsoft up 3.5. Google's bounced back to even here. Amazon up a 0.5 percentage point. You would have to think that FedEx news or excuse me, UPS earnings would bode well for Amazon, right? Because they're the ones carrying the packages.
Correct. I mean, I think you're going to see all of that happening.
Tesla, Steve, up at 452.42. Did you watch all the news yesterday? What do you think? You shorting this morning? What are you doing with Mr. Musk?
I mean, I got crushed yesterday on Tesla, but I picked it up on Qualcomm's. I shorted Qualcomm on the high, so I got beat up on Tesla for the first time. I mean, 22 in a row, I'm okay with that. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
So you didn't answer the question. Are you going to be playing it today, or are you out of the Tesla
I'm
game?
trying to answer the question there.
You want to see what happens in 3 minutes.
I want to see what
here.
happens.
Okay, yeah. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. I'll ask you again in 3 minutes and 10 seconds.
Yeah, that's good. Good.
Energy sector set to open down about 40 basis points here, Steve. Saw an article finally explaining to me why gas isn't $2. I still don't like the article, but I understood what they were saying at least. Utilities is up about 39 basis points. XLK, which is technology, big leader again this morning, up 42 basis points. Materials bouncing back right about 3 basis points. And we do see consumer staples and consumer discretionary in the red. The industrial sector slightly in the green. Nothing's really running away one way or the other here. We do also see healthcare up. My UNH position looking pretty good here today, Steve.
Yeah. I expect UNH to be in the 400s probably by another month or two.
Oh, I like hearing that. Where are we now? At 346, I think was the last time I looked at it. 365. No. Yeah, 378. Look at that sucker. But they did have a beat raised. Their guidance there. It finally broke its losing streak. Adjusted EPS 292 versus 280. Raised its fiscal year 25 outlook to 16.25 plus. And medical care ratio came in below the fear at 89.9%. Investors had braced for a 90 handle, so relief is the word of the day there. And we are open. Let's see what we get here. First move on the tick, slightly to the downside. Advanced decline slid a little bit down about 1,000 here. Not a big slide one way nor the other. Dow Jones, big winner, up 63 basis points on the open. We do see the SPY up about 25 basis points. And that is first move really muted. It was already on a move to the upside. That it is a move to the upside on the Qs. The rut opened up down here at minus 24 basis points, but bouncing off the lows already. Bitcoin trying to regain 115 here, but everything's really been perpetual future derivative led. So that's just going to chop for right now. No clear direction yet until we see some spot volume pop in, and it has not caught up enough yet. It's a mixed bag here as I look at my main watch list of winners and losers. I don't see anything on that that's more than one. Oh, there we go. Carvana up 4.29% here. So nice little move to the upside on Carvana. They have earnings tomorrow after hours. Tomorrow after hours. Nice move to the upside there. FedEx in a sympathy play based upon the good earnings from UPS, up 2.56% here this morning. Nice little bounce by Intel, also up 1.77, close to a 52-week high here. Tick is negative in general. If I get back to those indices, wow, what a change that is on the cash open. There is some definite profit taking as we do see technology and materials.
All right, I have bought RCL on this drop here. I think
going after Royal Caribbean here. I'll pull it up. Do you want to take?
Yeah, I'm going to continue to buy it here a little bit. Still buying here. I think that selling was a little. Yeah, here we go, baby. There we go.
Okay. Steve, I do like buying the dip here on Galaxy GLXY. Also, they had an outsized offering, raising more money. Ooh, nice little pop for them on the cash open here. But my takeaway is the fact that that they will bounce back to 43. They're down at 37.50 here. I think they bounce back to 43, 46 here in the next 30, 60 days. In fact, I am looking with Mr. Bauer at putting out a signal. It looks like we're going to do.
Yeah, I'm gonna take that profit and run, Mr. Howard. There on.
Nice. I love it. I love it.
Woo!
Nicely done, here, sir.
Hello, baby. See, I missed one. I get 26 right in a row, man. What am I doing here? I'm doing something wrong. So, look, Apple just hit 4 trillion market cap for the first time just a few minutes ago. Yeah. I had a feeling that was the case. I mean, Apple to me, that was just, yeah. I like that move. It was a nice move. I needed that. That cleaned up all the tests, but yesterday's Oracle.
There you go. There you go.
A good one, yes.
We'll say tick is still negative here, and it's been down mostly below here. So we're still seeing a sell-off. Dow Jones has come off of those highs in the morning. Here, SPY coming down a little bit. There you go. Mr. Bauer has got a nice little Galaxy call spread for me to put out here. Give me 1 second.
Go ahead.
Those of you that want to play along at home, we're looking at a call spread, the 40 call, buying the 40 call, selling the 47.50 call for a December expiry, December 19th. So we are looking at it here.
Yeah, look at that.
Is negative 100 here. Let me pull Tesla up for Mr. Steve. Let's see if we can get him interested. It's been dropping, Steve. Maybe you go long today. Get back that money.
It is dropping. I don't, but I tell you what, the problem is
Tesla. Not one on the rotation.
It's on my radar right now. I put it back on there for a second there, but it's not really on my radar this morning. Interestingly enough, I do think there is one that is on my radar here is Palantir, PLTR. Palantir now at 190.15.
Yeah, that was on breakout.
52-week range there. The high is 192.83. So it's struggling really hard up here. So, here's the question mark. Is Palantir still going to get all those contracts with OpenAI doing so well with all these massive companies that already have all bigger contracts with the government? So that could be what gets me here is Palantir, does it continue to hold up here? And I don't think the answer is yes. I think you're going to start to see Palantir start to pull back. And if you don't know, I am a Palantir fan. So anybody out there says I'm not, I actually like the company. I just think it's overvalued.
Right, and that's a difference. It isn't that exactly as you're saying. It isn't that you don't like Palantir. They've had a monopoly in a lot of different areas within the DoD, for a while, and there are other players there that want to be part of it. Right, that's all you're saying.
Correct. Yeah, and Bitcoin back to 115 here.
Yep.
Ripple at 266 is interesting. I was buying that at around 250, 266 now. USO at 72.18 as oil is really, really struggling there at 60 handle there. It's just unbelievable. If you think the economy is doing well and oil is at $60 a barrel, that's just not the same.
Yeah, I mean, And you know, and it's interesting because, you know, like I said, I say it from both sides. In the last CPI numbers we had, they actually took those numbers when oil was, you know, took that pump up,
Yeah.
and it was actually a driver of the CPI to the upside, not the downside, as it will be in the next one. And I thought that was going to cover up for a lot of other issues there. Gold 39.26, so a little bit of a pop to the upside here on the cash open. Bitcoin, as Steve said, 115.033. Ethereum 41.33, nice little pop to the upside, being sold off a little bit here though. We'll say Ethereum does look like if it can break 41.75, it's got a pretty quick shot to 42.50, where it will hit its next wall. Apple back negative mag 7. Apple on the downside. Tesla's up 1.14, getting a little over its shoes there, Steve. What else do we have going on here? Steve, SoFi was another one I was watching in the pre-market. Here, let's see if it's popped. A little bit of cash. I do like this if it breaks back through VWAP. Their CEO is on CNBC, similar to PayPal. He even said it. They're already moving your money using crypto, and you don't realize it, where they talked about remittances and how folks that are sending remittances to countries overseas, they're doing it using stable coins for fractions of a penny, in a matter of seconds. And it happens, and you don't even realize it. You just say you want to send dollars to a friend in El Salvador, and they're going to get pesos for it, or they're going to get US dollars, whatever it is. And behind the scene, it's actually happening all across crypto, the rails of crypto. So love to see that. That is funny. I got one for you, Steve. Just happened to see that I got an email portraying itself to be Market Rebellion, giving me a trade idea. I know I am not a member of any of Market Rebellion stuff. And looking at it, it's on like an OTC small stock here. Someone literally trying to use their stuff. And then you look where the email comes, it doesn't come from their servers.
A day doesn't go by, Howard, if someone tries to be me,
Yeah, this is a new one for me, though. I never saw this. I'm like, wait a second, what's going on here? So I'm getting
Market
a fake
Rebellion
one.
being my friends John and Pete and Jerry.
Oh, I get it. Yeah. I mean, I get them all the time where someone impersonates me on Twitter and stuff to try to scam people on crypto. I get that. And I'm used to it. This was the first time, like I said, and
that's how you know you made it, Howard. I mean, that's it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't understand. Like, people really think those scams really work. I mean, I know people don't think.
No, they do. They get people. Unfortunately, I mean, I can tell you from the Prosper folks, they unfortunately people will impersonate Scott Bauer, sell signals that aren't Scott Bauer's, and people will fall for it because he's so popular and everyone knows that stuff's worth money.
President Trump just said that Toyota is going to be putting auto plants all over the United States to the tune of
over the United States, everywhere.
It's for $10 billion. I don't think so.
That's one that will build you one.
That might build you
not even a big, not a big one, not a big one.
Yeah, it's not going to build. It's not going to do much there. Yeah.
Okay, ticket is still negative here, minus 600. We haven't caught on. Q's still sliding slightly the upside. So, the big loss has been across the DJI, which has moved down from the highs of the day
Yeah,
down to the
down
lows.
500 right now. Yeah. All right, there's your Tesla. It's slipping. So 460 again, back to 460. That's where the top of that linear regression is. So if you were looking at short, I could see it there, but I'm not touching it. I'm not going to touch it here.
Yep, that's how he treats you.
Don't fade the must. Is that what you say?
That's what I'm saying to you. You know,
iRobot getting smacked yesterday again down.
Yeah, that stuff was awesome to watch, man. Apple making a breakout here, Steve. 270 looks like it's on track here. 260, 290.
Yeah, I mean the sales of. And I'll tell you something that was very interesting to me is I'm looking to buy some iPads and refurbished ones. They were selling quite a few refurbished ones on their page. So it was 461 now, 11 on Tesla, 461.25. Someone's buying Tesla there, and if I would guess it was probably Elon Musk trying to get his pay up. He wants his pay badly.
Man, you got a tinfoil hat on these days.
I don't.
I'm kidding. DXY at 98.90 here, so it hasn't been able to break back above 99, but it's at least challenging a little bit here today. We do see the 10 years pushing up slightly, but back below that 4 level there, so we haven't seen that. Bitcoin holding above 115, so I'd like to see that. Most of the early morning gainers, PayPal holding up pretty well here, still up 9.28%.
RCL is holding up on this loss of 8% here. I mean, it was down more than 10% earlier today, and it's holding here a little bit. There were some buyers buy the dip kind of mentality there a little bit.
Yeah.
And we're right back to where I sold. So, yeah.
UPS here down a little bit off of the highs here, but still up 9% today after their great earnings. Like we said, Corvo and takeover by SWKS up about 14.74%. Invesco up 1.62%. They had some strong earnings reported also, Steve. Smithfield up 3.11%, off highs of the day, but they had good earnings on the food side, Steve.
I mean, if you don't think that inflation is they're taking, these companies are taking advantage of the inflation, they're taking advantage of it, and you're going to see margins go well a little bit better for these companies. What are we asking for? Howard, I still want to pick at that tinfoil hat. All right.
Oh, I told them I had my tinfoil hat on going into the weekend because those whales moving money around leading into Coinbase's 4-hour scheduled outage. I said I was going to have a tinfoil hat on in the house Saturday. Thanks, Zora. We do see Sherman Williams here. Yeah, Sherman Williams had a nice little beat here, Steve. So paint stores drive gains. Yeah. Definitely in line there. They had a nice little earnings beat. EPS at 359 versus a 344 estimate. Revenue came in at 6.36 billion above it. And their comparative sales were up 3.6% store year over year, driven by protective and marine coatings. So marine coatings, that was interesting. Yeah. So all you rich boat owners out there are repainting your boats. No one's painting their decks, Steve. The K-shaped economy has the rich repainting their boats, I guess, today. Tick still negative here, has not turned to the upside, and advanced decline continues to move to the downside, now down about 25.50 so far here today. Dow Jones continuing to slide to the downside, SPY down slightly here also this morning in the Qs. Holding up better there, buoyed definitely by Microsoft, still up almost 3%, but not off of their highs of the day after the announcement of their partnership or ownership stake in OpenAI. 27%, I believe, was the number there.
Qualcomm down 3% now, still selling off.
Yeah, again, they would be a direct loser in theory to that merger between Skyworks and Corvo. They're in those RF chips there, that same sector. So that might be my guess is that investors are a little bit more skittish there. Seeing a mixed bag across the financials here. JP Morgan up 72 basis points this morning. But Bank of America and Wells Fargo down. Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs also up. So the corporate equity players moving to the upside. No real big movers there, one way or the other.
I can't believe the UNH is actually down today after all that.
Listen, what's up is down, what's down is up. Who knows now?
Yeah, I mean, the economy is this K kind of economy is really starting to affect stocks that really should be up. 115, 362 now. That run on Bitcoin there went to 115.5 there. Qs are now selling off here.
We'll say TerraWolf, Bitcoin mining company, up really nicely here, up 17.82% today and running to the upside. It had been down over the last 2 weeks, but looks like it wants to break out
down
again.
Almost 600 here. Could be some selling here starting to pick up.
Could be a sympathy play you have in Iron and in Hut. They all tend to trade together. Iron, Wolf, and Hut tend to trade very similarly. Ticked down 562. I'm not seeing any news as to why market is necessarily dropping here.
Could be just a little bit of profit taking there as Bitcoin trying to push right back up, and Qs are pushing right back up. So I think there's a little bit of a somebody came in to sell some. And look, to me, I'm telling you, institutions are selling, folks. Retail are buying. The institutions are taking profit. The personal institutions. I don't mean the people, the wealth management in there, but institutions themselves are selling their positions. So they're trading positions. And that's why you're seeing this massive drop then pop back up, because it's there's some buyers in there still buying in there. So okay.
Nice move up by Bitcoin, 115.5 here, Steve. I am more of a fader still at that 116 level.
Yeah, is there somebody sitting up there to selling, or what's happening up there, Howard?
Yeah, this is all perpetual futures movement. It really isn't. It's not spot. We need spot volume to come in. Yeah. If we do see that, and that's going to happen mostly on the IBIT inflows. So maybe we're seeing that here today. If IBIT, inflows really pick up, that's what will take us to the next level. But that's what you sort of need here, right? You need to see that spot. Right now, this is just otherwise perpetual shorts and longs getting liquidated. And they're playing out, and that's where all the trading is. I saw a great article on Market Watch today that discussed that's what's happening. It's the hottest trade out there right now is crypto perpetual futures.
Yep.
It doesn't move, it gets you chop. It doesn't get you direct movement. It's like trying to trade the SPY and the Qs, so to speak.
I'm just looking at it, and I know you're gonna give me crap about it, but Kalshi now says that the mayor of New York City, by 89% chance that he will be the mayor, will be Mamdani. There could be some serious changes in the city of New York City. As most of you know, I'll be living there part-time. Look, it's I've been happily been still am a New Yorker in a lot of ways, and I tell you, I just don't understand what's going to happen in New York. I don't think it's going to be all bad or all good to Mamdani. I think a lot of people thought that everything was going to be great with Giuliani, and then of course Giuliani became a great mayor and a terrible person. So things can move out. Yeah, Steve Flanagan says last one at New York City, turn on the lights. There's your tinfoil hat there, Howard.
Yeah, there you go. He's got it on.
I understand what Flanagan's saying. I get it. It's politics of Mamdani. It's hard to palpitate sometimes. But is he so wrong though? I mean, You talk about AI, 14,000 people at Amazon losing their jobs to AI. Is the world changing that fast? Is Mamdani, is he onto something? You know, you heard from past mayor like Yang saying the same thing, right? Give everybody a certain level of money. And those of you who don't know, I am totally a capitalist. So I'm not, you know, I understand this, but I understand the you know, we make sure the poorest are taken care of. I'm that kind of a person. I believe in safety nets. But you know what? The world is going that way. I mean, a lot of people are saying that we're going to go to 4-day work weeks. God, I don't even know. I would just like to have a 6-day work week, much less a 4-day work week. But you know, I live on a 7-day work week. I've been doing that for years, and I can't help it. That's, I guess, it's part of me in Southern Illinois. My parents instilled into me, but I understand it. That, you know, but generations that are coming up now are asking to be, you know, they don't want to work 7 days a week. They don't want to work. They want a life balance relationship. I'm not really sure what that means, because you just balance it no matter what. But yeah, so I think that it's going to be huge. And right now in Calci, a Democratic sweep this year is 80%, meaning that the House and Senate goes Democrat. 80%.
Yeah, Calci, it can change so quickly there. I believe it for what's going on in New York, you know, there, because it's quickly, that's in the next, you know, month, not even in the next, 2 weeks, a week. The further out you are, Calci, people manipulate those numbers to make extra money. Buy on the other side. And what I mean there, if you buy it when there's not many contracts and you short it, you know, with $100 and there's no contracts, it moves it tremendously to one side. Then you can buy the contracts at a much better price once the money starts rolling in. So it's a interesting little game there, and I can't believe you're using them for stuff. You hate them, Steve.
I'm just looking at it because I think it's. I don't. You know.
Whatever.
I mean, it's. You know, look, I get it. It gives people another outlet, and gambling seems to be struggling, going against it. Right. It's a big struggle bus to stop gambling, and people are gambling, and zero DTEs, and we've really created a very big gambling economy right now. And if you like crime, then that's what comes with gambling. Yeah, I don't want to hear people complain about the crime in their city if they're allowing it in there. I don't really want to hear that, but it is true.
Yeah, listen, Boomer. They're doing it on their phones. They aren't going to a casino or seedy casinos where they're.
You don't think so? Hard Rock in Tampa is pretty packed.
Is it though?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, because you know, what I hear is that, you know, again, you've been the one that talked about it. The Vegas is slow.
Vegas is slow,
and you know,
but I'm saying the reason Vegas is slow is because it's going to your home.
Indian casinos in New England have been dying off. You know, they're not making what they used to, the Foxwoods and Mohegan Suns. So I just wonder. You know, I do think people are definitely still gambling. I just think more of them do it using the 800 apps that are out there, and the fact that they can do it on Robinhood and Kalshi and Polymarket and DraftKings and FanDuel and all the rest.
I agree.
Go Bitcoin. Let's try to make this run up. I want to get you to 116 so I can short you.
Stop shorting me.
No. We get
dollar yen.
I wanted to prove it. When it proves me wrong, we will, and then we'll be ready to go the other way.
VIX is pushing up a little bit, 32.23 here. The VXX now 0.73%. It could be now UNH is green again. There's what it's Netflix back above 1100 here, 1112 again.
Tick still minus 127.
We're hearing reports now the United States has struck more drug vessels, killing another 14 people, according to Secretary of Defense Hegseth.
Advanced decline down 28.19. Qs holding up. They're up 41 basis points, Steve. SPY is up 8 basis points coming off of the lows there. Dow Jones buoyed up back around 46.
All right, Bitcoin. There you go. Just hit the high of the session here, early morning session here, to 115,527. So,
yeah, it's definitely got room to 116, 300, 350 area. WTI down 1.13% here, Steve, down at 60.46. We going back below 60 there?
oh, which one?
WTI.
Oh, of course. Yeah, I think look, oil is hurting. The economy is hurting. People don't. Okay. Yeah. I mean, you want to know? There it is, folks. I mean, oil's cheap.
PayPal's trying to move back to the upside here, 77.84, up 10.8%. UPS dropping to the downside a little bit, only up 6.76.
Don
now.
Trade, Mr. Option himself, sold somebody sold $2.17 million worth of Meta puts to expire on Friday. As we know that they are going to have earnings. So somebody, see if I can get that out there for everybody. That is interesting.
Yeah. There you go. Is it a hedge or is it a position?
Could be.
Tick just went positive. Here we go. Buyers may be coming back in here as we get to the 10 o'clock hour.
Intel up almost 30%.
Steve, we set a new all-time highs in the Qs again today. We set an all-time high in the S&P again today. And we hit an all-time high in the Dow Jones.
And when
again
I hear
today.
the adage is buy low, sell high, what does that mean? That's what it means. You know, look, I'm sitting still. You just saw me I made my trade, and I'm sitting happily sitting on my hands. My hands are up, but I'm sitting on my hands. And you know what? I'm okay with that.
Okay. Well, that is going to take us out of here this morning. Everybody have a fantastic day. Steve and I will be back tomorrow to break it all down, and I'll tell you why we set new all-time highs again as he bangs the table for the drop. See you tomorrow, everybody.